But supposedly...
Oh my god.
So you can't change it now.
Wait. Okay.
He's not. Oh.
What?
Holy shit, what?
It fucking works!
Yeah!
Let's go!
Wow, it just works.
Let's go!
It's been a
Let's fucking go!
Yeah!
I don't know. What the heck? Oh my god, I got it to work.
My voice going mad.
Let me undo like the several things that we did. I mean, hardware acceleration, I think, is the only thing we need for Forge.
Yes, correct. Oh my fucking... I gotta close so many tabs, dude. Holy shit. Okay, well, for the people who are watching, we're starting with me yelling because that's funny. However, Fujitech, if you somehow find this fucking video, please, for the love of God, fix your shit for individual users, because sometimes your shit don't fucking work. Respectfully.
Figure your shit out with Streamlab, please, and thank you.
Yes. Anyway, our aside of troubleshooting, holy fuck, dude. Well, welcome back to Fractured Shadows, a wonderful little homebrew Daggerheart based tabletop game and story. I am your host of the channel, Shade, also known as PlagueDoctorShade, and here with me, as per usual, are my lovely friends Statica, VoodooVixen, and Thorn.
Hello.
Thorn, say something so we can see that beautiful goat man say something as well.
Hello.
Oh my god, he fucking talks! Look at this shit, guys. He's no longer stagnant. He's no longer mute.
He's moving up with the world.
He's finally gotten over his stage fright.
He's getting character development. Let's go!
And now he has to deal with the rest of the world trying to shut him up all the time.
Anyway, so, as per usual, I got a couple of announcements before we actually get started. Don't worry, I'll make them quick. So, first and foremost, Fractured Shadows, being a Daggerheart game that it is for a mature intended audience, as there will be depictions of adult themes such as blood and alcohol use, sexual themes, psychological torments, gore, body horror, and potentially much, much more. I might warn you, but this is your warning, so you've been warned. Please keep this in mind when you continue to watch. Secondly, we do not own any of the things in here, aside from our lovely sprites that you see in here, as well as the world itself, which is owned by me, and such. Things such as music and other pictures you might see of other characters are all sources I just picked from the internet. So yeah, we are not professional in that regard. That's pretty much it. So, with that being said, my friends, my lovely, lovely friends, are we ready to get started?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Now I am.
Yeah!
All right.
Let's do this thing.
So, let me get the music properly set then.
No more traumatizing me with Nier's music.
As much as you might hear some more Nier music, so bear with me. Not that intense, just some suspense. Alright. So, last we left off in Fractured Shadows. The party went towards Lilith Brightwillow's manor to speak with her on a matter regarding what happened the previous evening with the battle between Murkon and Akuji with Julius and the mysterious knight that was guarding the graveyard during the evening. They had later found themselves at the manor with said knight, who revealed themselves to be a one Anissa Coldlight, a former member of the Crimson Hawks of Rhyme, who very much is a paladin, and with her retirement from the mercenary company, she has found herself within Bright Willow Haven on a sort of traveling spree and has stayed here for some time to offer her services to the council and the town, seeing that it is one of the free towns in Zion. And as they spoke with as they spoke with Lilith, they briefly revealed the bits and parts of her history about her being a paladin of Rhyme who was very fierce in battle and known for her weapon, known as the Cold Light Maul, known to deliver blows that were both righteous and very, very, well, cold, as it also is seen in the bright lights of the northern mountains as a sign of victory amongst the mercenary band she was once part of. With the potential scandal involved with Anissa, for some reason, causing issues for our intrepid band of heroes, along with Julius not acting himself, the party proceeds to ask further questions about the history of the graveyard, with Lilith pulling out a couple of books that lead to the discovery and history of Bright Willow's first original inhabitants, having buried their dead within the forest nearby. They learned that there are certain mounds in the forest that technically act as the original grave sites as to why the forest has flourished over time. And with tradition eventually having built up in Bright Willow Haven, the residents of the later generations wanted to essentially build a legacy to have their ancestors remembered. Thus, the graveyard that the party found was a culmination of tradition and modern mindsets pulling together, with allegedly this little gravesite location within the forest being nearby and connected to the graveyard. And the one way to get through it was through the mausoleum entrance, which held the original founders of Bright Willow Haven. Wanting to go through the forest to take a check themselves, the party headed back in that direction, only to be stopped by the Hunter's Charter, who said that they were currently on work for some people in Bright Willow Haven, doing some hunting to get some work done, so to speak. And a familiar hunter that they still have not yet learned the name of, a fellow, rabbit folk, told them that as long as they are able to keep it between them and not disturb the wildlife nearby, that they are free to take a short trek into the Bright Willow Forest as long as they do not disturb the hunt. And thus they did. In a very quick search, they did eventually find the entrance of a cave that had some very old stairs growing nearby, covered by growing moss and grass and flora and fauna. And as they made their way through this entrance of the cave, they found another entrance, a door. As where we left off last time, so this is where we pick up, with a party at this entrance to this doorway that seems very old, very decrepit, and despite the fact that it is not off of its hinges, it does appear to be reinforced with new wood, as if to keep it sturdy. So, my friends, my fellow players even, considering what is before you, you do see that as you had traveled into this cave, it only took a few minutes to get to this door, but there are two torches on either side to show you the entryway. And it's a pretty narrow cave, so it's not like there's several different paths, not a cavern. It's pretty simple for this exact purpose. With this door before you, what do you do?
Kuji will see if it is locked. Try and open it.
There does seem to be a lock on it.
Murkon will check the door to see if there's any mechanical oddities, anything unusual that may hint towards some possible alarms or further defenses and security.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yes, go ahead and roll me a instinct check, Murkon. Very good. You would notice that the door is not trapped, and even though it is locked, the lock seems very simple.
Okay. Murkon has a nifty little thing. Let me just double check if this is... Let me see.
Me when I'm shocked in an anime. Oh!
Think Murkon's gonna attempt to do lockpicking. DM, do you want us to have any specific item in mind for lockpicking, or are you cool with just saying Murkon has them?
I'm pretty sure that there is an actual lockpicking related item for Daggerheart. I will double check. Do you I'm pretty sure you had one, did you not?
I don't. So it's not, I don't think it's tied to a thing. I think there's just a tools kit thing.
Let me check.
I think that's the item. But oh, I think it's let me check basic supplies. Let's see, because we have that. I think I heard something about that. I guess it'd probably be up to you, baby.
I did say that Murkon got his stuff back when he was when he had like, you know, the stuff taken from him back at the fort originally. So for you and for Leonin, I would say that your basic supplies would have lockpicks, yes. You could also, in your case, you could also use your, where is it? Your nomadic pack for such a thing.
Sure.
Once per session, you can spend a hope to reach into the pack and put out a mundane item. One of these would be a lockpick, for instance.
Sure. I do have basic supplies, so maybe we'll see if he'll just pull that out and start cracking at this door.
Okay. Let me double check here. I will say that because you were able to figure out with your full success for a hope, that this will not require a check, and you will be able to use this lockpick to undo the latch on the door.
Cash money.
All right. So, do you
Murkon
all
will open the door?
Okay.
Yep. Since Akuji was there, he'll just open the door, look inside, and go, "Ladies first," and let Akuji move.
She will carefully step inside.
All right. So, there are no traps. You do not fall through the floor. You do not hit a spike trap. This is just a hallway.
Yay!
Excuse me. So
we did it. We beat Daggerheart.
Yeah, it's just a
bucket
hallway.
of water drops on your head.
You die. No.
No.
No. Okay, so as you enter the hallway, it goes on for... It's roughly hard to tell. But you do enter this hallway, and you can see that the ceiling raises about roughly 20 to 30 feet high. It has been smoothed out, unlike the cave from before, where there are no rough corners, as it's clearly mined out. And as you start to advance down this lengthy trek, you do see that the stone starts to smooth out as it is more carved and it becomes more tile-based, though the tiles beneath you are cracked. You then start to see the beginnings of what looks to be an entryway into a bit of light as you slowly enter this area that opens up into what looks like a main room of sorts. Very aged, very decrepit, very old, but you do see the telltale signs of braziers. If I pull you to the map.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, this is sick.
Yeah.
So,
Who the fuck?
as you all enter into this old, decrepit-looking, what seems to be the entrance of a tomb, you see that the ceiling from 30 feet has gone up and doubled in size. The ceiling above you has very clearly been carved out above, and there's a small dome that is about in the center of the room, spans up even higher. The only sources of light are ahead of you, with the two braziers that are currently lit, and you do see two armored individuals that are wearing helmets and seem to be brandishing long swords, keeping watch of sorts. As you enter this area, you do see the light above you has a small chandelier that lights the way, seemingly made of iron, hanging from a small chain that swings idly back and forth. You notice that there is a gentle breeze that comes from the entrance of the cave back to where you currently are located. And as you enter, one of the guards at the entrance does hold his hand out to you. Hold there. Are you part of the brigade?
Oh. Oh. Think what
Akuji will
Balls.
look a little confused and shake her head.
So you
No,
are
but he's-
actively shaking your head at this question.
On pure instinct, no. Yeah, she's just shaking her head no, but she'll then look to Rayleg.
Way too intense. What the fuck?
He is part of the Hunter's tribe. That helps.
I feel like while Akuchi's shaking her head, Rylik would be saying, like, of course, how do you think we know you to go this way?
Oh.
Some new recruits looking at Akuchi.
She'll try and play it off as if she had like a fucking. Assuming he cuts her off before she finishes her sentence. She'll
Yeah,
no.
no.
Her hair.
As you continue to talk, the guard who spoke to you is going to approach you and just look you guys up and down. Boy, let's go check these out. Sure, whatever. And he'll approach you with his friend. You said you're part of the Hunter's charts and you're a new recruit, huh? He looks between Raylik and Akuji. Ah, I see. And, what about you? You two, ones with the white hair, look the same.
Mercon lifts his head a little bit. We're new initiates. We're given the chance to see the brigade for ourselves before we make any official choices.
That's what I was gonna do with that. Oops.
Got a fireplace and all.
Right. We're currently in the middle of initiation ritual right now. Just as a refresher, which one of the Cabal recruited you lot? And he'll look directly at Raylig. Surely that's, I'm assuming you're one of the... Actually, I think I've seen you around before. You recently joined the Adventurers League, didn't you?
We've got to spread our influence around here if we're gonna make any progress.
Oh, shit. You're Master Keith, aren't you?
One and only.
Oh, shit.
He'll bow with like more of a flourish and a grace than you would expect from him.
Fucking head turn on Mercon. Just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I feel like Merkin can see he's like sweating on the back of his neck, like, yeah, uh-huh.
Well, you definitely made us look a little bit bad, didn't you? Making yourself look like a pathetic drunken man, eh?
You've got to learn to keep people on their toes. That's how you get the advantage.
It's true enough. It does make a lot of sense, though. So anyway, which one of your sponsors is it?
Goes back to notes from the bandit.
Take your time.
You mentioned like an artificer.
I did, but I never gave a name.
No, we don't. Literally, the only name we know is Anissa. But we don't even know if she's... I mean, I guess we have to go with it.
That is a possibility. You could risk it.
Ooh,
Because, I mean, I guess... But Julius is more like a tool. Like, I don't even know if he's part of the Cabal.
It's completely up to you, Raylig.
I think he's gonna try to fudge his way around it, and he'll be like, we can talk later, but I'd rather get these new recruits to the initiation as soon as we can. Get them to work sooner.
Go ahead and make a presence check, Raylig.
Right, and can I please spend a hope to do this as well?
Yes, you certainly can.
Okay.
And because you also made a very good first impression with these two, go ahead and make it with advantage.
Okay.
It's a good thing you had advantage.
I was about to say, I did not roll well on that dice.
But you still get your hope back, and that does succeed. And the one that was talking to you that approached the guy on the left, he looks over at you. I don't know. Seems a bit off for me. Before he gets slapped in the chest by the other guard's gauntlet. Can you bugger off? You gotta keep asking someone you keep in with the big shots. Let them fucking through already. We've only so few as is. It's like looking him up and down and he shrugs. Fine. Just, he looks between the three of you. That'd be Raylig, or not Raylig, sorry. Mercon, Akuji, and Leonin, as well as Angel in the back. Just be sure to, not cause too much of a stir, right? The commander's already doing his bit of a speech and you're already late. If that's the case. And they will both nod to each other before going back to sit idle and stand guard.
Us?
So, you guys can step on through.
Marcon looking back at Rayleigh, just mouthing "what the fuck" as they move on to this initiation.
He just has a stern look like, well, you heard him. You're already late. It's like,
the fucking sneer he gives.
All right. So, as you step up the stairways, you do see a large set of double wooden doors that appear to be made up of older wood and reinforced with various metals. You see that the bottom and the actual edges along either side of the doors that would open cracks make it impossible to see through. Despite the reinforcement, and they go all the way up to the ceiling, them being impossibly large. You can only assume that they are thick, as you cannot hear anything on the other side. Do you push them open?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Do not forget Angel, by the way.
Oh, right. Come on, boy. I can't see him.
I'll grab him. All right.
My boy.
You open them up.
Oh, great.
As you see before you several individuals, all centered within the central part of what seems to be a very, very old crypt. You see at the back, there seems to be a statue of a warrior of times past, an open coffin that seems to have been undisturbed for a very, very long time. And the room, obviously, before you, is filled to the brim with various looking adventurers, mercenaries, and hunters. And at the center stage, there seem to be 3 individuals. One of them you immediately recognize as Anissa, wearing her helmet, while the other 2 seem to be a half-elven man wearing a gas mask, and the other one appearing to be a very tired but calm-looking fawn with dark skin and long, dark brown hair. And I will actually show you their full images, if I can grab them.
Can Akushi see if this is the crypt she saw in her vision from the book?
Yeah. It looks very similar to it.
Oh!
You even recognize the make of that very coffin, as that was the coffin that the Lich rose out of.
Akushi will lean over to Marcon and say, "This is the crypt that the Lich was from. The name on that coffin is the same." I love that font picture. Something about it.
Well, this is going to make the evidence that more clear for us when we take care of these people.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you enter the room, with yourselves being made visible, Anissa clocks your entry immediately, as you see the fawn man has already been speaking to for some time now, as he's already in the middle of a speech. She briefly walks over in the middle of him saying the following. And with our emergence from the wood, we will... And you see him nod and look in your direction. I see we have new members that have yet to join us. Please, take the center stage.
How are we feeling, group?
We're
We're dead.
outnumbered 10-1. I suggest we roll with it for now.
To be fair, it might just be more mobs, but we'll see.
I mean, even in its bear, so.
That's what Leonin is gonna do.
As
Murkon was looking directly at Anissa. That was her name, I believe.
Anissa does give you a nod, though she does not say anything as she's looking directly at you, Murkon. But the fawn, seeing most of you step forward, aside from Murkon, motions directly in front of him.
Oh, great.
Not that I am one for giving special treatment for people who are late, but I heard that you made quite the introduction to one of my captains. Please, I'm curious.
And everyone in the room stares at you.
Oh, great.
Right. Yay.
Can Relic try to incite the fawn to be like, is it like the kind of menacing, like, oh, you should come up here, or is it more like, oh,
yeah.
she did seem to say.
Go ahead and make an instinct check, Raylig.
Idea.
While sorry, go ahead.
Raylig,
So,
you get the distinct impression that this man is extremely calm, as if he has control of the situation before him. Whether that intent is malicious or not is hard to say, as all he has really done is kindly and very calmly told you to be in the front of the room with him, roughly where the carpet is over here.
While Rayleigh is sensing the fawn, Murkon wants to get a read of the room. He wants to know what he's seeing in the people looking at him, the recruits, the initiates, the guards.
Instinct check for me, Murkon.
I would like to spend a hope with
Sure.
my jester as a way to kind of get my social influence picked.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. There's a couple people that you recognize, Murkon. A couple people that still have bruises on their faces. A couple people that are glaring at you right now. And needless to say, despite this, there's mostly surprise from what you can see from a lot of the people, especially the lads in the center of the room. You can see that they're whispering to each other, but it's hard to really hear them as they are very close to one another, and this room does not echo.
All right.
As
if no one else has anything to say,
as you guys are deliberating this plan, you do hear the as the door shut behind you.
all right. I think Murkon's going to do what he does best and get himself centered and calm. As he now realizes this is a far more dangerous situation than he not dangerous, but like more of a confrontational moment than he expected. He's gonna put his smile back on, and he'll speak up for the group. Well, we're quite honored to be at the center of attention. I think we'll be more than happy joining the initiates when we didn't want to interrupt, despite us being late to, the meetings of the minds here.
He tilts his head at you as he slowly turns to Raylig.
I was informed that you were the one that led them here. Are you going to let this initiate speak for you, Master Keith?
You'll have to excuse them. They're quite eager and, I believe, a bit awestruck.
Murkon, as quietly as possible, does nudge Raylig before pointing him in the direction of the bruised faces and the glares to show him these were people we had fought at the bar.
I think Raylig's going to look at Murkon and open a telepathy and be like, in contrast to how calm he seems on the outside, on the inside, he's like, there's so many people here. And Anissa's here. I didn't think we would run into her so soon. Oh, gosh, I just told Beatrice that we would make it alive.
Murkon does speak telepathically. Relax. We've kicked their asses before. They're just going to be angrier this time about it. We do have to keep an eye on her. And I have a feeling whoever this guy is putting on a good front or really doesn't know who we are yet.
I'm not used to this. I'm used to just doing what I'm told. And
Well,
you can see his ears have kind of drooped a bit.
So what would your people tell you then?
I'm supposed to just listen.
Is this to Raylig or me? Sorry.
This is to Raylig. This is the telepathy. I think we're opening that back up again.
As you are continuing to talk to each other as seconds begin to pass, the fawn tilts his head again.
I understand your trepidation, my friends, but I assure you that the cause here is righteous, and we are all allies, despite past grievances.
Stand. She's gonna whisper to Murkon and the others, like, we're wasting time standing here. We should probably move before they get mad.
Feels like I'm kind of in agreement here. You might as well play it cool.
Akuji will start to work her way around to get to the front where or the fawn had asked them to go.
You do see a couple of people in the center stare at you, Akuji.
As they move,
You'll stare right back.
keeps talking with Raylig. Just like, all right then. If you don't know what to say, I have a couple ideas. You're gonna have to trust me on it.
As they're rocking, he visibly gulps. He's just like, very well.
Repeat after me. And then Murkon's essentially going to have Raylig just, like, do his best. He's essentially going to instruct him to be as in control as possible without undermining this guy and all, but also still trying to pull in as much information as he can. Because...
Sure.
I think that's what Murkon's gonna offer as like aid. So I think whatever Raylig says here will be something that Murkon would kind of like give him ideas on what to say telepathically.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Before you do that, however, as you guys approach, standing in a line, the fawn man does look over towards Leonin and gives a small smile as he notices the Remian tiger
My good sir with the cat, is that your pet or your friend?
He's my friend.
He's very beautiful. Where did you happen to find him, out of curiosity?
I appreciate your kind words. I found him in a very dark place, a group of slave traders from Zion, or animal traders from Zion, treated him rather poorly. You give him a pat on the head.
He does frown.
Is that where the scars come from?
Yes.
So these traders were poachers, then?
Mm-hmm.
You have my thanks for saving a beautiful creature of the wild. I cannot imagine something like that going into the service of the pleasant districts of Londor. It is a terrible thing what is done to the creatures there.
You
Then
have
turns
my
to a-
agreement on that.
He nods to you and then turns to Akuji.
What is your name, love?
Gucci?
Akuji. Are you part of the nomadic tribes, or are you a gnome?
I am neither.
Hmm.
I am a hyena day, and I escaped from a rather bad person.
Well, I must say that you are one of the more unique hyena I've ever come across in my life. So you're not part of the nomadic hyena tribes, then? Interesting.
No.
Would you mind telling me about the markings on your fur? The ones that glow red?
They do. And you said that her master was an orc, right? You said that?
Yes.
Okay. My at the time master, I guess you could say, did something to me, and I had them on my fur. I don't know what he did. I
Do they
don't
hurt?
know much of what or why he did what he did.
But do they hurt you at all?
I don't.
They don't.
I'm trying to remember. I don't. No. No, they do not.
This is a set of markings to find who you are, despite them giving to you in captivity. It is quite powerful of a symbol, Lady Akuji. I hope you realize that.
She'll nod her head in silent thanks.
He will then look at Raylig.
You are Rayleigh Keefe of the new adventure that's part of the Bright Willow Adventurers Guild, though I'm very aware of who you actually are.
Both of that is correct. I did just join the Adventurers League, though I do have somewhat of a storied past.
I understand that. We all have our shadows, Master Keefe. You were once part of the infamous Zaranova family, yes? As a clerk?
Indeed. For over 50 years.
And even at this age, in what I can only assume is your...
He smiles.
your prime, you still decided to go out and join for a better cause to help the people of this town with the troubles, did you not?
After spending so long there, it was a much needed change.
I remember seeing you with a woman. Black hair, pale skin. She is your wife, is she not? How is she?
You can just imagine, like, the heartbreak emoji kind of just appear in his eyes. I imagine she's well. We haven't seen each other in a time, but she is a strong-willed individual.
There is a small frown. I see. You have my sympathies, Master Keith. I too lost someone I loved very deeply, though in a very different way. It is good to know that the heart is still fond and that yours is still living amongst you.
Of course.
And then he turns to Murkon. Looks you up and down.
You have a very interesting get-up, I must admit. It's not often that I come across lands of Zion meeting a wandering jester.
You could say the wandering is just a part of my tricks.
I'd imagine so. A man that likes to keep secrets to himself, yes?
You'll have to forgive me. The rogue life does seem to carry over in this kind of work, along with the added additions of finding yourself in situations like this, and clearly we're among someone who has a good read of people that is unlike others I've ever come across.
He gives you a nod. The rogue life does follow in many different ways. I understand to him from a personal extent, as that is a similar trait of my own.
He then looks between you and Leonin.
Considering your similar appearance, I assume you two are brothers, correct?
Yes.
Murkon looks over to Leonin.
He would give a small nod. Still playing out cool.
He nods. Siblings strong enough to come down here into a pit with each other. Fascinating.
And he'll look over at Anissa, who then nods, and he sighs and shrugs.
Very well. I know who you both are, Silverbrooks. You, made a great name for yourself in this town, as far as I've heard. To know that the Silverbrooks would grace my presence alone, it is truly an honor. But I must ask, what are world-renowned monster hunters doing down here when there are more terrible things up above?
Can Murkon try to gain a sense if there's any been like changes from how he was when they walked into this moment, targeting towards Murkon and Leonin?
For the fawn?
For the fawn, yeah. Like, see if he's looking at them differently now versus how they were.
No roll required. He has not changed any expression aside from the small smiles or nods or just simple facial expressions, but outside of that, he has been the exact same.
There is no getting a read on this guy.
Nope.
I think Murkon's going to think very closely to what they were just talking about. Murkon's going to kind of signal to Rayleigh mentally. I have a feeling this might tip somewhere else that is going to lead us to some trouble. Be on guard. And Murkon will Unless Leonan's going to say something in response, we'll speak up.
Leo seems to be in thought, so he hasn't said anything yet.
Okay. Well, as you heard, initiation has started for this, and us being new here, and considering what we do, we're not above finding out more about those kind of things than others. And that's what brought us here.
I see. I'm colored curious, Marcon Silverbrook. But first you end up going to the graveyard, middle of the night, trying to stalk one of our aliases so we can dig up correct information as needed. Underhanded, yes, but discretion is advised. Next thing I know, you fighting with one of my captains here, and now you arrive here today. So I am a man of means, I think. I would like to think so, at least. I'm a man of reason. Is it that you have heard about the brigade and you wish to join us, based on what you've learned about the town while you were here, in your short stint? Or is there another reason that you come here?
I gotta think about this for a second. How Marcon's gonna respond.
Sure, man. It's a very tense moment, so by all means.
Marcon's gonna kind of lift his head up. Well, as a man of means, what would you think I would be doing here?
I can think many things, Marcon. Leonin, Rayleigh, Akuji. I can think about plenty of things. But I'm not going to be the one to make assumptions. I'd rather hear it from the mouth itself.
Marcon, you get the distinct impression that this guy is extremely experienced in bullshitting. You don't have to roll for that. I'm giving that to you.
When he says Rayleigh, I feel like Rayleigh has his hand up. Like, you know, like if you're in class kind of thing.
He does look at you.
Yes, Master Keith.
To be fair, we were not aware that Anissa was part of the brigade. At the time, we just encountered her, and it was not a time for pleasantries. Perhaps it should have been.
Well, it means that she's doing her job correctly. Well done, Dame Coldlight.
And you see Anissa nod towards this fawn.
You see,
Indeed.
And he starts to step down to you, and you notice that he is a relatively tall fawn. He has key distinct features about him. You notice he has freckles, that he has a golden, what seems to be some kind of piece in his hair that is holding a braid. And you see that that is the reason why he has like a ponytail and it's kind of going down his shoulder. And as he steps forward, he just gives each of you a very soft smile. It's very small, slight even.
Anissa has been through many things. So has my other officer. My other captain, if you will. As has many of the people that have gathered here today. They all wish to see a greater change within Bright Willow Haven, to see the people that have done them wrong in the past get righted. Take a look, just for your own sanity, your own peace of mind. And he'll motion his hand out for you to look around at the people that are in the actual crypt.
Murkon's going to eye the people they fought at Beau's bar before looking at the new initiates.
You notice that the ones that are the fighters at Beau's bar are all in the middle. And those were the ones that actually fought you fairly. You don't see the ones that were bothering Beau. These were the ones that were drinking and minding their own business. And a couple of them are also, you see the two ones over here. Those two were the ones that were outside of the bar, smoking and talking to each other. And they do look over at you, and they give you a nod. One of them is glaring at you, still spiteful. But then you quickly do see that the fawn is looking in his direction with a blank stare, and he immediately freezes up and gives you a nod, Murkon. Tell me, UFO, what do you see?
Murkon's trying so hard to keep the jokes in. Someone better speak before Murkon does.
It's like the fucking white guy with the vein popping out of his head as his face is going red.
He's like sucking his lips, just.
Yeah.
But you know what, Rayleigh can hear in the telepathic. I can see a boot mark, and that's where Leonin whipped his ass. I can see that's where he got his face cracked into the floor.
I feel like hearing this relic is being like, okay, we cannot say that. But he will say,
I can read. He's in his mind. He says, I can read the room. This guy is odd in a way that makes me uncomfortable.
And on top of that, more so, outside of the people that are in the center that are clearly the initiates, you do see a couple of other familiar faces about the room. Namely, several people from the Adventurers Guild, or the League, rather. When you first entered, you spotted a couple of random faces within the lunchroom. Whether you had your nice fill and Akushi turned into a fur ball. Good times. But you see that those individuals are to your left and to your right, along with one of the ones in the back that is wielding a very large sword. They are all various races, but you do recognize them. And one of them in particular, to you, Rayleigh, since you were the one paying attention to this during this conversation, is one of the scouts that was pointed out to you by, if I can remember her fucking name, because it's been a while. Can't remember my own NPC's names again. My fucking Bane, by the way. This was pointed out to you by Tilly.
oh, Tilly. Well. Yeah, but Rayleigh will do a sweep of the room while hearing Murkon's inner joke monologue. And he'll say, I see people who feel trapped. Like they can't change anything. They're just stuck treading water in their current situation, and there doesn't seem to be a way out, but perhaps there is. No, like, look at the pod.
And he gives you a very approving nod.
Very astute of a former clerk of House Saranova. You are correct. These people that have gathered here, that wish to join our little band, they feel like, as you stated, the waters are treacherous. They are not changing, and the tides have not gone in their favor. They are currently adrift within an ocean that only wants to swallow them whole, and its depths are never ending. Their lack of work drives them here. And the fact of the matter is that the people that lead this town do not know what's best for it, despite what you have heard. The council? A mere joke. I'm sure that the one that calls himself the mayor has already given you enough insight as to what he once was. He loves boasting, after all.
It was the first thing we heard, truthfully.
Of course. Typical. Unfortunate as it is. Though I suppose that, no matter what, absolute power corrupts absolutely, even if it is a much smaller circumstance. It matters not. We wish to make this town truly a free town. Whether that means getting rid of certain people so that the people can rule their lives, unabetted by any form of government. And so be it.
And he steps back up. Oop, I am locked on to that character too. What the fuck? Anyway.
As he steps up, I feel like Relic would chime in. And I suppose that includes the last nobility in town.
Considering that she only wishes to see the betterment of the town, no, actually.
His shoulders relax.
Murkon, telepathically, you know he's lying, right? Do you really think she's gonna get along with this guy?
Would be far-fetched, but it still relieves me to hear that she's not at the forefront of their targets.
Is there anything regarding that response that Murkon can kind of pick from to see if him saying she's not a concern has any like laden, message behind it?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and give me a instinct roll.
I'll spend another hope for Jester to see if he can pick that from.
By all means.
Could I try that 2+?
You can certainly try, yes. Keep in mind, you can also just simply inquire if you so wish as well.
That's true. This is a role-playing game. Murkon will speak up, considering now that they understand. And if she doesn't agree, if the people before you are more important to her than the hopes of something changing.
He does frown.
I would have better faith in Lady Brightwillow than that. But I am not a man that wants wanton bloodshed, Master Silverbrook. With all due respect, I merely wish to sate a...
And you look down. He looks down as he thinks of a word. You can clearly see he's trying to find the right word to fit the situation.
a price that needs to be extracted. She is not part of that, and I wish no harm to truly come to her. This is, by all necessity, still her town to begin with, though from what everything I've been told by Dame Coldlight, and he does look back to Anissa, who gives another nod, she is very, very negotiable to work with.
Marcon looks to Anissa. He knows he can't see the face, but body language, possibly.
Anissa does look at the fawn.
Commander Velgrift, may I have a word with these four?
And the man that you now know as Velgrift nods as Anissa steps forward.
You keep looking at me like you wish to say something. Spit it out.
Again, is that to the four or to Marcon specifically?
It's to Marcon, but she is addressing the four of you.
Marcon will look to her, seeing that no one is jumping to bite that hook yet. You know, she thought very highly of you. Last we talked with her about you. Does she know? Oops, excuse me. Didn't you do that?
She knows that I am honor-bound. She does not know what I am honor-bound to. In time she will, but I have not lied to her once.
The curse that plagues her bloodline.
I am aware of it.
And she looks between the four of you.
When I said I attacked you because I thought you were necromancers, I was being honest.
Marcon tilts his head in a confused, but in a way that signals her to go on.
Just because Julius was there does not mean that our conflicts were the same. You wandered in with your face covered, your scent masked, and, needless to say, skulking around the graveyard. If you were in my position, and you mine, wouldn't you have acted the same way, Marcon? You are a monster hunter, no? Are necromancers not considered monsters, but in a different mask?
I can think of them in a group of monsters.
Then you and I are aligned in that regard.
That brings a smirk on Marcon's face. And Rayleigh can hear, almost as if it was like a smoke coming out from him. This bitch.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we like insight check this? Because this very much feels like a press X to doubt moment.
You can certainly try, but it's going to be at disadvantage because she's wearing a helmet.
Right.
I think.
That's appropriate.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, Rayleigh, she is being honest, and the fact that you weren't there, aside from hearing Marcon's pains in your head, She's being as truthful as you can tell.
I think regarding what they know from everything that happened with the Lich and the cultists here, and now seeing the Shadowbark Brigade, is there any way Murkoff can kind of try to like connect the dots to like pull together possibly any real? I mean, obviously they're still trying to usurp the town that is already just bouncing back from issues. So he's already not on top of it, but he just wants to know if there's, considering where they're at now, seeing the Lich's coffin. He wants to know if there's really anything he can put together between these things to tie it together.
Just keep in mind that oh wait, I think Akuji did share that to you? Never mind. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. My bad. You can try to make an accusation of sorts if you want to try that.
This is more of an internal thing. Like, can Murkon be like talking about like necromancers and all this stuff, and this want for change, but the idea that they're in this place in the first place, hiding, is there anything he can kind of like pull together in terms of like notes from behaviors or like patterns that could possibly connect them in his head? Because he doesn't know if these things are really connected.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
'cause,
he
like,
wants
Yeah. So based on the evidence that you have found thus far, based on the research you have done and the location where you currently are, you do not see remnants of the cult that was here prior. You see a group of essentially guerrilla fighters wanting a better life and are just using the remnants of the past as a hideout due to taboo that no one would look for them there. That is what I will give you, is that it's simply just the perfect location because no one would look there due to the stories about it.
perfect. That's just the info I need for Murkon then. With that, Murkon's going to gleam over to the others in the room with a cooler, calmer look as he kind of speaks himself. Well, huh? Yeah, I can see a lot of people here looking for the same thing that every other person on this bloody rock is looking for. And I see someone who is offering that in a crypt of where our necromancer was, with the plan to essentially usurp a town that's just recovering from its own issues. No. Yeah. I can see ourselves alike in some ways. You truly want to offer us a hand in this? You truly believe that we would be welcome here?
Velgrift looks to Anissa and she nods and steps back to her place near the untouched coffin. And he'll look to you, Murkon.
I believe that anyone that really wants to make a change in any location, regardless if it's Bright Willow Haven or even the Silver Spires or Londor itself, Hells, even Gascoigne for that matter. I believe that having the right mind, regardless of origin, would be willful of a cause such as ours. I'm sure you're aware that there's corruption that runs rampant through the entirety of Rasdanya, yes?
He just had to step away.
R.I.P. I mean, this could be addressed to anyone, to be specific. Leonin, Akuji, Rayleigh.
I'm sure we are all well aware. I know in Londor I felt its effects dearly.
He'll look at Leonin.
As I can see the appeal and wanting things to be better. Lord knows I felt it more than once in my lifetime.
I'll look at Akuji.
She will stand there and think for a moment. No good people should suffer under corruption and bad people. She'll say that with a bit of a growl, kind of mentioning back to her situation.
And would you say that, for the short term, that people like us need to do bad things in order for good to prosper?
Sorry, can you repeat that? What? Sorry, my brain didn't comprehend that sentence properly.
Do you think people like us are, in order for good to prosper, in the short term, should do bad things to make that come about in the long term?
Ooh, that's quite the question for Akuji, given what she had to do to get out.
That is exactly why he asked it. And again, he is addressing the whole group when he's talking, as he keeps looking between everyone.
Akuji will get a very visible kind of, not puzzled, but not clear, like certain look on her face. Sometimes bad things do happen for the right reasons, I suppose. I had to kill people to escape, and now I'm here helping people.
And you, Leonin, you killed the poachers to rescue your friend, did you not?
Yeah. I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoyed doing it, at least on some primal level.
Because you're delivering justice, my friend. Justice feels good to be delivered.
I'm going to look at Rayleigh as he says that.
But sometimes justice is not the right thing given. Not true justice, anyway. You broke away from that, did you not?
Yeah, and when he had asked that question to Akuji, Rayleigh tensed his shoulders and kind of had been looking off to a point in the side with a look of pain. And when he addresses him, he gives a slow nod.
If you have the chance, Master Keith, to make things right, be it through force, through your words, through acts of redemption, how exactly would you change your past? with House Aranova, what would you do? Who would you kill? Who would you imprison?
His fist clench at his side, and his face is kind of scrunched up. And yeah, I think he does kind of like there's some tears that come out. It's more what wouldn't I change? I saw so many terrible things over the years. So many lives ended or twisted in ways that they never should have.
It seems you and I are similar in that regard, Master Keith. In that case, I would like to test the four of you.
And that's where we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fractured Shadows. We had a prolonged break because of IRL reasons for Voodoo, but we're back now.
More like fractured stream.
It's fine.
I'm gonna commit an offense that goes against Twitch's terms of services.
Essentially, Velgrift was looking to each of you, asking you various questions about what would you do to make change possible, and he ended with the question being, if you had to, would you do bad things in the short term to see things and people prosper in the long term? And he left that question to let the others ponder. And he did look to each of everyone as this was asked, which mostly everyone was in agreement with. So I guess since you're back now, he'll look to Murkon. I keep fucking Rayleigh and Murkon. I don't know why. Probably because you two talk the most. He'll look to Murkon as he asks this question in his very calm and collected self to get back into character.
How did everybody else respond?
He asked that question, and he referenced Akuji's captivity, to which I believe she agreed to that.
Yes, she did.
Leonin agreed to... I believe you said that Leonin liked getting rid of the poachers because it was justice that was deserved. If I remember correctly, Statica?
He said it was like that he felt like a sick satisfaction of basically bringing justice to people who do terrible things.
And then to Rayleigh, he asked about the people that if he could change his past. It was, would you kill someone if you had to? Would you change someone's fate? In Thorn, what was his response again? To refresh our good old Voodoo.
He started crying thinking about the stuff that the Zarnovas have done. And I feel like he'd give like a weak nod, but it's very conflicted.
Excuse me. And since you're back, he would turn to you, Murkon. Excuse me, Jesus. everything wants to come up now as soon as I start talking. He would turn to you in this regard.
And the monsters that you deal with on occasion, the ones that are not the beasts that roam the lands of Rasdanya, as you're well aware, you wouldn't think a second thought in dealing with them as the very beasts themselves, yes?
Firstly, Murkon looks at his party. And then he looks back to
Velgrift. Yes.
And his stare gets a little sharper at the mention of the idea that monsters have to be slain no matter what. You want to call them monsters? I'm sure. If the monsters are the ones that we have to hunt, then they are the ones we have to hunt. Murkon looks over to Leonin. You want to feel good about it? You want to feel bad about it? That's none of my concern. It's all about what you're doing is right or not.
You see Velgrift
So if you want
nod.
to say,
Continue.
if you want to say I get anything out of doing the right thing, you're right. I do get something out of doing the right thing.
As I suspect, as it seems to be a shared trait amongst the Silverbrooks, as history has shown us.
And that's when because this would be during that conversation. I would just assume that this is the response now.
That being the case, I have a task for you then.
And that, Rayleigh, would be your cue to ask the question, now that you have pondered it.
What exactly is your connection to the council? The Quicksilvers, as they were once called.
That's when his calm demeanor finally shifts for the first time in these past minutes or hours, how long you have spent talking to him, to a glare. And he looks at you and then past you and sighs.
Are you aware of the Quicksilvers? What they have done? Their deeds? Their misbegotten gains?
Only what the stories have told.
You are a smart fawn, Master Keith. What have the stories told? Tell me.
They were hailed as heroes for taking down an evil cult of some necromantic nature. I believe that's what we
Yes,
were.
You are
What we
correct.
learned. Okay,
You are correct.
This necromantic cult, how much do you actually know about the operations that happened in London?
that he furrows his eyebrows too. We did actually try to learn more about them, but there was very little to be found in the various places that we searched. Being a man of words myself, I'm very aware of how history can shape the stories that are left.
As I suspected. A man of reason, a man of words, a man of history. The Shadowbot Brigade was formed some time ago between myself, Anissa. I'll motion over to the man wearing the mask, Master Yulton, and his dear sister, Nori. We formed this as a group of adventurers of sorts. As you might suspect, we, like yourselves, have traveled many places to do jobs, but my home was London. Yulton comes from Predelsa, and, of course, Anissa comes from Rhyme. Let me double check my fucking notes. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Cool. I was right. Specifically, with Master Yulton, he comes from Dreg. I'm sure you know what that means. And he tilts his head, making sure you understand. For specifically Rayleigh, go ahead and roll a knowledge check. This will not give you a fear or a hope. This is just a general knowledge check. You can use your little feat to roll for advantage, as it is a place.
Okay.
It's flat 20. Again, this is just a general knowledge check. It's not a super skill check as per usual. Dreg is the other half of the city of Ingenium. Ingenium is the upper city that is the main capital of Predelsa, with Dreg being the lower city, where there is a very clear class divide between the two. Dreg is very much the, as you might suspect, where the dregs of that society live, though it is still a very rich and thriving community. When you stayed there very briefly, you stayed in Ingenium, but you went to Dreg to do some business with the Zaranovas, and it was very brief. Very much like this is where the inspiration came from, but it's like the city in Arcane, the one with the upper half and lower half. That's basically the reference point.
I fucking hate Piltover.
Yeah.
Year.
But yeah, no, that's essentially what you saw. It's very, very similar. I am shamelessly took that as inspiration. Anyway, and when you look over to the other man who is wearing the gas mask, he just gives a very subtle nod, but he doesn't say anything. Regardless.
Yeah, I think Rayleigh would frown and nod back to the Duke.
As you do finally look over at Yulton, you would notice that half of his body is covered by a very large cloak. The other half, he is just standing stock still with a hand on his hip. And as Yulton continues, he goes on to say that we were a band that was like any other was typical at the time. The Shadowbot Brigade began, for we found within the Ashlands we found on a job a piece of wood that's started our jobs. Nori came up with a name. Shadowbot. We were a little group, a brigade. Makes sense. So we became that, and our names quickly spread throughout Londo as we took more jobs from both the League and the Charter. And then, as you are very well aware, the threat of the cult, the necromancer cult, became much more problematic. Bodies rising after towns were burnt down to the ground for one reason or another, and mages went in to go pick up the pieces and start their little experiments. Many of the corpses that we ended up fighting that were undead were scarred, torn bits to bits with pieces of metal and burnt to a crisp. Some of them were even children. And he says that with a bit of venom. Murkon, you'd be able to catch on this quickly, as you can see his fists curl up. Regardless, we came very close to finding out the true reason why they were doing this. And before we even got the chance, the Quicksilvers intervened and stopped all this. Unsure of the root of the cause, actually. Yes, anime leather scrunching fist noise. The Quicksilvers intercepted them. For what it's worth, they were doing the due diligence. They cut down the necromancers right then and there. But considering that they were very good fighters, and truth be told, we were a little outmanned, we offered them aid and support. I'll admit, as our little band grew in notoriety, we picked up any kind of job for work. Even the less than desirable ones. The Quicksilvers gained reputation faster than we did. Per the name. Quick. But we did what they didn't do. We got down into the dirt of the matter. That unfortunately cost us one of our members' lives. And he lets out a sigh as he stops talking, as Yilton finally steps forward, and you hear the tsh as you see a bit of steam come out of his mask. My sister, Nori. We were making a diversion for the Quicksilvers, and she got caught in a trap that we warned her about. Me and Yilton tried to save her, but she told us that she would be fine. Gotten out of scraps like this before, so no problem. And, well, explosion went off when the diversion was made. Necromancers came crawling out, but my sister didn't. And the Quicksilvers took all that fucking glory for themselves. Not even a memorandum. Not a memorial. Nothing. And he steps back as Yilton nods. And because of that, we made a pact of sorts. Yilton, Anissa, and I loved her dearly. And he stares at you, Raylig. Me, especially, as just before that day, she was going to be my wife. So you can understand my feelings on the matter about this. The Quicksilvers took all the credit. Something that
feel like I'm doing his voice wrong. Hold on. The Quicksilvers took a lot of credit for what was going on. They did not bother to check on us, not once, as if we were a forgotten memory to them. They used us, and now they're going to pay for it. They did us a great misdeed. A misdeed that is done to many people like yourselves. And to think that they are ruling over a town like this. Swaying people. It's disturbing, to say the least. I don't know what happened for them to convince others that they were the right people to take the job. But you understand why we're doing this, do you not? And you would see Anissa's fists also clench as the memory's brought up, and Yilton looking to the side. As Velgrift is staring at each of you with a very intense gaze. Trust me when I say this, to all of you. I do not want to cause any harm to the civilians or the citizens of this town. That is why I'm trying to recruit those that understand our plight. Those that have not received work for one reason or another. Even if our tactics are underhanded. We went to the guilds. We have given them enough information that is needed. We have even... He looks over to Yilton and he nods. We have even gained control of one of their assets that they have so carelessly not overseen. I'm sure you have met the Altoma Julius, yes?
Marqui lifts his head a bit, looking up at Velgriff more. You did something to him, did you? It wasn't just talk.
It wasn't I, no. That is the work of... He motions over to Yilton. He's the mastermind behind the contraptions that we have. Yilton was able to rework him enough to help us, and surprisingly enough, as far as I am aware, he doesn't mind. Though I was made aware of the instances where he acted extremely more cautious, defensive, and for the most part, more aggressive than usual. And I do give you my deepest apologies for that. Considering our matter is to be kept secret, he did not want to risk that. And he'll nod to Yilton, and Yilton nods back.
For the better part, I do happen to have control of his main facilities, but he seems willing to comply so far. So, sorry, I guess.
Right.
What does Beatrice's... Oh, not a boat. I mean, I guess it's her boat. place of business have to do with this? That was the first job that we accepted after all. We learned that there were bandits occupying her place.
Ah, yes, those lot. They were newer members of the brigade, I'll admit. Perhaps getting too big for their britches. Perhaps a bit too staunch in their thoughts and their pride, so to speak. But as we know, pride is right before the fall. I cannot speak for their actions, but the ones that are here now are more staunch followers in our beliefs. At least, I think they are. And you see him stare past you as he looks back to the initiates that are still kneeling down in the old, what you can assume to be a ritual circle that has long since faded, candles still lit as if it's supposed to be some sort of ceremony that you did walk in on. I forgot to say that, and I do apologize. That is why I wished to give you a task to see if they are still sympathetic to the cause, or if they are merely trying to line their own pockets. Are you willing to do something for me?
Rayleig's gonna look to Marqui, and in his head he's gonna be like, "It's fair, we did not have much of a choice in this matter."
Is this to Velgrift or is it the telepathy?
Oh, the telepathy.
Okay.
There's always a choice. I don't need a coward right now. I need you to be ready. Can you do that? Murkon's tone, even in his head, is exhausted and almost different in a way where Rayleigh has heard this voice before, in a sense, the same feeling. But it's not carried with that same swagger he had at the bar, their first time into Beatrice's place. And when he gives that question, he looks over to Rayleigh with a stare that is both empty and yet as focused and sharp as before.
And the telepathy, you hear like a gulp. And he says, "I promised Beatrice that we would make it back alive.
I didn't ask that.
She
I asked if
cares
you're ready.
a lot about you, but and as he's cut off by Murkon, he does give a slight nod. As a party,
Murkon,
we have to work together, but I will follow your lead.
Murkon then
That's
turns
weird.
over to Leonin and Akuji to see how. I mean, obviously he can't read their minds, but he wants to see how they're reacting to this.
Leo seems to be putting his head down in thought for a moment before looking back to Murkon with a sort of like, I don't know what you're gonna do next, but I'll have your back on it sort of look.
And then he looks to Akuji.
Akuji seems very interested in what he's saying. Like, she's very attentive to it. She does look at Murkon. But she has more of like a puzzled look to her face. Like, she doesn't know what he's going to do. As she looks kind of between him and Velgrith.
Okay.
Well, then Murkon does speak up. He wants us to do something for you.
A small task to...
First task,
Sorry, go on.
first of many, I'm sure.
He raises a brow.
The choice is
Here.
if you wish to continue to do tasks for us, Murkon. You could simply do this, leave, and never return. You could aid us if you want. I merely just want to test your capabilities, is all. Is all.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna pass. Murkon tilts his head up and kind of looks up to the other two before back to Felgrift. Hate to say it, but I'm pretty disappointed. And tell me this is all that this is what this is for? This whole plot against some people that wronged you. This plot against what's supposed to be rebellion, all in line with vengeance. All this, taking all these people already down on their luck, already dragging themselves through mud, to make a whole different town. A good one, might I add. One of the better ones I've ever seen. Because you can think you can run it better? Nah. Sometimes you gotta know what's worth it. For what I've heard, this ain't it.
You mistake me, Murkon. I do not wish to run Bright Willow Haven. I wish to purge the corruption from within it. That council that wishes to run it, to reap in the ill-gotten gains that they have taken from citizens from their taxes, from everything that they have given, from everything that they have lied about. That is what I wish to rid it of. What the townspeople wish to do with it is up to them after that. Will they choose Lilith as their leader, or Lilith is one of them, among them, as an equal?
You know, you almost had me there. You can tell me all that. You can tell everybody here that's not what you want. Maybe you don't. But after going this far, I just ain't buying it. So no, I don't want a task. I don't want you doing nothing to the town here. Sorry about your sister. Sorry about your comrade. But you better leave this town alone. They got enough to deal with. They don't need you on that either. You want to do good? There's plenty of good out there. But this, and he points around to the room, this doesn't scream anything good. I've seen enough people talk about wanting to bring back the town to good and all that kind of stuff, and everyone wants to say it's just like that. Nah. Never is. And these people, he points to the people, especially directly to the people he fought, they're not going to get you anywhere closer to what you want. You can tell yourselves that. You can sit in here and rub your hands together and plan all you want. But there are people up there that ain't going to pull. And they're not going to want to sit there and just take whatever you say. Whatever you want.
What I want is so small in comparison to what everyone here has already agreed to. Marqui, I'm a bit disappointed to hear you say that.
And he looks to Anissa and Yilton.
I'm giving you the chance to leave. You have humored me enough, as is. I'd like to think that perhaps in a different lifetime, perhaps we would have been comrades ourselves, considering everything. But regardless of what you say... Am I doing a fucking English voice? Hold on. Regardless of what you say, our plans are going to continue, whether you like it or not. For it is not I who have decided this to become true. People in that town that you say don't want to change, that don't want all this, have already agreed. There are those among them that you may call friends, that have already agreed to what my plans are, my supposed plans, that they themselves wish to be a part of. I only gave them a question, and they already answered it. And if you wish to stop us, by all means. But you will not find it easy to do so. So, I'm giving you this one chance to leave peacefully.
Marqui looks between the people around him before looking back to his party members.
And as... Sorry, I want to add, as you're doing that, he will look to Leonin and then Akuji and Raylig.
And what about the rest of you? He's very outward in his opinion. Do you agree with him?
I think with a bit more questioning on both sides, I can't say for certain. And she's not looking at anybody. She's not looking at Murkon. She's not looking at Velgrith. She's staring at the floor in front of her, as if she's trying to wrap her head around everything.
Velgrif will look to Rayleigh.
I was actually said something, but I was muted.
Oh,
Go for it. Go for it.
Velgrif will look at Leonin, actually. Asterisk change. And
he just sighs and it's just like, well, I've known my brother long enough to know when he's talking out of his ass, which is often, mind you. But I'm kind of with him on this one. I have no intention of making enemies with your organization, but nor do I feel like I need to swallow everything you say with 100%.
As you shouldn't.
Then he'll look to Rayleigh.
I feel like, so Akuji, you said Akuji's like looking down at a point, right? I feel like
Yeah,
Rayleigh's doing a similar thing.
yeah, she's staring like right here. Like she's not looking at anybody.
I do not have as strong of a hatred for the council, but it is true that there are some in it who have been unkind, to say the least. But at the same time, there is good to be seen in this town, especially compared to the rest of Zion, let alone Rasdanya as a whole. I can understand your pain and your motivation. I do not wish to make enemies of your group as well. He'll kind of like tilt his head towards Leonin.
Does Leonin say anything else?
She just kind of gives a nod, like, not my battle, not my horse, as they say.
I see. If you do not wish to make an enemy of the Shadowbark Brigade, then I will give you one chance to show that. Even if one of you disagrees with our methods, our goal.
And he'll look over to Murkon. His stare is blank. He's back to his normal, unreadable self. You can't really get an idea of how he's feeling as he's talking.
Then know this. If you decide to continue to interfere in our operations, whatever it may be, you will be met with hostility. I do not wish to come to blows with you, as you do seem to be a reasonable lot. You have your head on your shoulders as far as I can see, and you have all come from some sort of problematic background, be it a slayer of poachers, an experiment, a life of subservitude to those who think they are greater. and one that hunts those that are monstrous, be it beast or of action. This is a battle of beliefs, of morals, of what is right is wrong. Right and wrong, sorry. If you leave this place, our plans will continue, and I can assure you that the ones that have done wrong to this town, to us, to everyone that has lived here, will face justice. And the innocent will not be harmed. But if you interfere anymore, we will consider you enemies. We will consider you in league with the Quicksilvers and the little band of watchmen. And we will not hesitate, as we have not in the past. Do I make myself clear?
Knowing what has happened since they've been to Bright Willow, knowing the people around him, having fought the people around him, this idea that the innocent will be spared, is there anything of note that Murkon could get from the group around him?
Certainly, go ahead.
To give him this feeling that he would actually have this control, knowing everything he's seen already.
Such as they're convinced about what he's trying to do is right, or they're mind controlled. I just want to clarify.
Not mind control, but as in, he feels like this group right here are people that he would have an idea are someone they can believe are willing to follow orders well enough to not hurt innocents in this. That they're as just as he believes them to be. Like, just more so getting the feel from the others, not Velgrift.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make an instinct check.
And one more time, since I have the hope, I will spend it.
Yeah, go ahead, use your jester. The perfect opportunity here for that. Ooh, that's a critical. Based on what you can see from everyone here, you see that those that are nearby that are the adventurers, to your left and your right, and even the guy with the sword in the corner. You've seen them before. They are part of the Adventurers League. And while the Adventurers League has sometimes had their ill-fill reputation with bad adventurers, these folk have been in the guild hall that you have seen, have been talking about trying to help the town. And based on what you can see in the people in the center who are trying to get initiated, some of them are from the League, some of them you don't know. As Velgrift has stated before, these are the ones that wanted to try and make a difference. And you get the feeling that from his words, which you can also inquire if you so ask, because he's still willing to talk to you at this point in time, that if they don't follow his orders, there will be consequences. You can see that they are all looking up at him in a bit of awe from the presence that he commands, from his calm nature despite the topics he has talked about. And they all seem to be impressed in some regard. At least that's what you're getting from looking at the various faces in the room.
All right. Murkon you know, tongue in cheek,
Mm-hmm.
looks around the group. He sees the people there, even seeing the people he's personally fought, realizing more so what effect he has on them, and how he can tell how these kind of words can influence people. I even Rayleigh can start to see there's a bit more of a calmness, like a breath of air that he has not taken since they've been through the doors. Murkon will look to the group and finally just say, all right, I think that's enough for us to see. The hunter's guilds are going to get suspicious if we keep waiting.
He does tilt his head at you.
Murkon's not even really looking at him anymore. He's more so focused on his allies, the people he's Leonin, Akuji, Rayleigh.
He makes a good point. There were hunters in the area, and we told them that we only wish to survey around here. He's gonna do like the mental equivalent of like poking Murkon, like, you alive, bud?
If you want to stay alive, we better get out of here. It's not going to be like the bar fight where we're going to hold back punches if we were to start fighting in here. And these ain't people that want to die. These ain't people I want to die. They're just people.
There are people
Who hear something, who hear a good opportunity. That's all they want. They're not monsters. Misguided, that's for damn sure. But not monsters.
That's good to hear.
No, I'm just saying that's what he was saying to Rayleigh in his head. I'm sorry. He'll
Gotcha.
he'll get that thought out to the group when they leave. But yes, that's what he's telling Rayleigh in their head.
This is so misguided, too. See an injustice and decide that you actually want to make a change and not be a bystander.
As you're talking in your head and still standing there, Velgrift is tilting his head to the side.
Have you
Yeah,
changed your mind?
we're going. Murkon does speak up this time. You guys can do whatever you want down here. As long as it doesn't bother us.
As long as you do not, as I said before, interfere in our plans and assumedly leave us to whatever happens in Bright Willow, then you will not have any issues with the Shadowbark. This I can assure you.
And ask for your insurance. And Murkon will start heading for the door, hoping the others will follow.
As you do, Velgrift actually speaks up a little louder. You mentioned that the hunters were out doing their job, correct?
Murkon, with the call out, he'll probably stop like right here and turn back, look over his shoulder at him.
If you need a better way to not interfere with our work, please use the other exit. It should leave you back to the graveyard. I assure you it is relatively safe. We have secured it.
No motion in this direction. Over here. This is the back left
Unless you
corner.
want some...
Sorry.
Right, yeah. Murkon speaks up. Unless you want people to start investigating where we were, I think we'll take the way out. In the same way we came in.
If you are so certain. But I assure you that Lady Rosedove will not be pleased once you have come back out after an emancipated amount of time has passed.
You realize that you don't know how much time has passed while you were in here? It's definitely not 5 minutes.
The forest is quite big. You can find other exits.
Yeah, you can leave that to us.
Very well.
Murkon will start making his leave.
Okay.
At this point, he's not really, unless they want to go out that way. Murkon's going to go out the same way.
All right. And the other three?
Kuji will finally look at Velgrith and she will kind of give like a look that she doesn't quite agree with what Murkon said, but still a bit of a sympathetic nod given what he's told them before she does follow the others.
Murkon will get to the door. And he'll reach out to the doorknob for a moment before he pauses. And then he speaks up. One more thing. Turns back towards the group, specifically towards Velgrift. Beatrice's pub is off limits. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you handle it. Not my business. Not my place. But if I hear something happens over there, you even think about scheming anything in that direction, I will hunt you. And the shadow barks are gonna burn for that. That seems pretty fair, doesn't it?
He looks at you when you say the Shadowbarks are going to burn for that. And it's that intense look even from this distance as he stares into your eyes. Can I have your assurance, at the least, that you're not going to spoil the surprise for the council, then? Since you are
leaving.
Marcon, for a moment, smile grows a bit. Yeah, my word.
Murkon, are you lying?
I'm gonna say in this case, no. I think Murcon truly means that the only thing he cares about at this moment, considering everything he's heard, knowing everything that's out of this whole thing, getting a little too out of his hand, only thing he cares about is Beatrice left alone.
Okay. With everything that has happened so far, with that strong word from you and then the party agreeing mostly with you, I'm going to have to request a presence check, but I will give you advantage on the roll.
Sweet.
You've also got a rally die.
You do
I'm
indeed
gonna
have a
use the
rally
rally
die. Yeah, this is the perfect time to use it.
D6,
Yes, sir, it is.
right?
Yes.
I think that works. Yep, there we go.
This is a very tense moment. Okay. So he gives you a nod. The tavern and Beatrice Feglerucci will not be harmed if the town is to come under attack. I will be sure to post a guard or two there to make sure that no one enters or exits that place. And you have seemingly convinced him. As you reach for the door, and you try to pull it open, yes?
Yes.
Okay. It's very heavy, so it takes a little second. And you are free to leave.
In this case, Murcon does leave.
Okay. And so all of you are leaving the cave proper then?
Yeah.
All right. So, I will change back to the world map. And as you leave the cave, the one that used to be the home for this necromancer cult, this coven, or not, sorry, the demonic coven, my bad. That's where the Lich once rested his weary bones until he rose and was trapped in the crystal. Now home to a group of freedom fighters, sellswords, revolutionaries, you aren't sure. You finally exit the forest, and you notice that the sun is beginning to set. It's definitely well past the time that you have given to the allotted hunter. But you do notice that it is quiet within the forest that you are in. Do you make your way back to Bright Willow Haven?
I'd assume so.
Mercon, yeah, Mercon will turn back to the group. That same glint in his eyes that he had, during all the other moments they've had here, is a lot more dull than it was before. He looks over to Leonin specifically, and he'll speak up a little with a tone that seems like he's trying to put on some more energy. All right. I believe that's enough of our adventures here. We'll probably turn in for the rest of the day and think it's about time to make plans to move on.
All right. Hopefully, brother won't be too disappointed in us.
Well, we only could do so much here, and he stops himself. There's more work to be found elsewhere. Let's get back to Beatrice and get some rest.
I just wish we could have found something to help Lady Lilith, too.
Yeah. Same here.
So you're heading
Dang.
back to the Tipsy Tinker then?
To the Tipsy Tinkerer.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And as you head back to the Tipsy Tinkerer, unsure if you have made the right choice, if fighting them would have done anything, if aiding them would have done anything, you are left to your thoughts as you enter back into the tavern with a very pleased barkeeper and a very filled tavern as she sees that you come back all right. That's where we're going to end the session tonight.
Okay.
Ambiguous.
I was gonna say if we were smart,
Fun times.
maybe we could have brokered some kind of deal to look around the crypts to look for anything related to Lady Lilith's curse. But
I mean, you still can. I'm literally just the fucking monitor here. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
that's fair.
Just
Well.
once again pull the little the sleep and dash maneuver, the old the old Silverbrook special.
All right. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the longer break, but you guys won't see that anyway in post. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed. A lot of stuff. So we'll catch you hopefully next Monday. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Bye,
Good night,
babies.
everybody.